ask you, just because I'm interested.
Mm-hmm.
So lifestyle, is it sex loves for you? Is it just maybe multi-partnered relationships? And give us a wild story, bitch. That's what I want.
It is.
We know you know what a prefrontal cortex is, bitch. What's the T?
It's multi-partner relationships for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy sex club. I love sex. I like sex parties. They're fun.
What role do you play in a sex party? Are you the girl that starts? Are you the one that's the unicorn? Are you the one that's bringing the people? Like, who are you at the sex party? Because we know Mandii is.
Could be
I'm what?
It could be.
Wait, who am I?
The promoter.
No, I'm not. I am not the promoter.
Your favorite thing to say is, I bring everyone to the sex club
because they want to experience it. I'm the tour guide.
Okay, better.
But baby, once we get in there, explore. I'm off to doing my own shit. I just bring you there. That's it. Because a lot of people don't know how to find them.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Which I need to connect because I need.
Oh, we gonna go.
Anyways, but yes, I could be all. I love bringing people. Ask any of my friends. I'm always like, so we should. I want to host. To be honest, I can't wait to the point where I host one. Where I'm like, I want to bring people, everyone that I know. We all trust each other. We could just like, why can't we all just be naked? It's fine. We're friends. I'm an exhibitionist and a voyeurist.
Okay.
So the first, I'm both. But I am. And I learned that I was a voyeurist the first time, not the first time I had a threesome, but the first time I had a threesome with a guy and a man and a woman. So I had threesomes with like just women, but then I had a threesome with like man and woman, and I like started spotting in between, like in the middle, and I was like, oh, fuck. I just gotta watch. The worst. But then I was watching, and I was like, actually, I could take a break. I can dilly-dally myself. This is kind of nice. It was like a live show.
What, did that threesome with a man and woman end positively?
Oh, it did. Everyone had agreed. Yeah, everyone was fine. They were
How
like,
did everyone know each other?
I knew him. I had been fucking around with him casually, and I was hanging with my homegirl. One night, we were having a wine night.
You were hanging with your homegirl.
Why do you do that? I told you, your friends is the ones to bring
joking,
me.
She was like, I was having a wine night.
You invited that nigga out.
Well, yeah, basically. He was texting me. He texted me. Oh, God. He was feeling me more than I was feeling him. I wonder if he's going to hear it. Anyways, he was feeling me more than I was feeling him. He texted me like, why is that pussy so good? I was like, here we go. So my friend takes the phone and she responds as me, starts texting with him. And then he FaceTimes and he sees both of us. And I was like, yeah, she was texting the whole time. Then he's like, oh, what are y'all doing? We're like having a wine night. He's like, let me come over. We're like, you can come over if you bring food. When he hangs up.
What food he brought?
He didn't even bring the fucking food.
And you still gave him the coochie?
You know why? Listen, so easy.
I don't want to hear anymore.
Well, the dick must have been good.
Hate it.
Well, really?
She said when you're feeling
in the midst, when he hung up, he's supposed to bring tacos. I'll never forget.
Said, y'all got the tacos.
I'll never forget that shit. I was really like, nigga, come on, bro. Like, we could have some food out. Because we felt the vibes. So it was like, we could eat after. Anyways, I'm still a little salty that he didn't bring no tacos. But before he came, me and her were like, you feeling this? Are you feeling this vibe? I was like, I'm kind of feeling this vibe. Let's see how it feels. I didn't feel no type of, this was years ago. I didn't feel no type of like jealousy about this at all. And I kind of wanted to slut him out with my friend.
Had you ever fucked your friend?
No, that was the first time me and her had fucked, and yeah, even we might have made out once, but like that's not the same thing. And I wanted to like suck a dick with someone. I wanted that experience.
I love it.
He really was just there for us, to be quite honest. That's what felt the best. Me and her were like,
that's fun.
We really want to do this.
I love that this happened a few years ago because again, I would have been like, and this is why these niggas don't think they got to do anything.
This was a few years ago.
He got a whole threesome, got his dick sucked by 2 women, and didn't even bring no food.
Did y'all ever get another nigga together?
Why are you framing it like that?
That's a great Trump.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Because this was years ago. This was during Bambi Legs.
This was Bambi Legs.
Can I be honest? Y'all know I love a broke dick from time to time. That shit, why? Sometimes you just want to, it's too much work. You should only be requiring shit from niggas that have it. That's the truth. If you know a nigga poor as shit, why am I about to fucking be really upset that you can't take me out to eat? For what?
I think.
Oh wait, no, don't talk. Keep talking. Get her ISO. Keep going with this. This is a clip. We're gonna put some violin music behind it.
I'm serious. Which one? This one? Fine. If you know a nigga has money and he's not spending it on you, that's awful. How could you have money be posting these cars and doing all this shit. I don't want to see one more bottle on fire in your goddamn Instagram story. You better be taking me to eat. Now, if a nigga's broke as hell, they always telling you about how shit is rough. What the fuck do I need from you but your dick? That's it. I'm lying here?
A little bit.
He needs to go get a job.
Okay.
Oh my God.
And if you get a job, you probably got a terrible one. If your dick is
not a terrible job, there is no terrible job out there.
I don't believe broke niggas don't deserve pussy.
Work hard.
Because you know what? Somebody else was broke. I want to be his Coretta.
But you, okay. And on that note.
Woo!
You know what? I wanted to play this clip before we got out of here. We won't get to home mail, but I think that this is going to lead to a very thoughtful conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have a clip here. I'm going to play it. We'll play it over later, but here we go.
Emotionally damaged people are always sexually promiscuous.
All right, doctor.
Let me say this again. If you are traumatized, if you are emotionally damaged, you are promiscuous. And do you want to know why?
Dang. Why is that?
Emotionally traumatized people require constant validation from others. You married to a woman who's been traumatized, abuse, abandonment, whatever. When you're not around her for too many days, she has to entertain another man because her trauma dictates constant validation. And constant validation means I must have a man in my personal space. You ever date a woman who was crazy about you? She absolutely loved you, so you thought. It was really addiction.
Yeah.
When you finally let her go, when you finally got her to stop stalking you, she ended up with another man like that. And your ego took a hit. You said, wait a minute. I know that woman was crazy about me. Climbed in my window, came to my... You understand? She was... She was crazy about your presence in her life. And the minute you distanced yourself from her life, she found a replacement without a problem. Emotionally damaged people are promiscuous because they cannot go without constant validation.
They need that validation.
They need it.
What is he talking about?
I would love to know your thoughts because I know you be talking about
what is he talking about?
First and foremost, I think one of my hot takes is I think hypersexuality and purity are two sides of the same coin. I think when people talk about hypersexual people, because being promiscuous is not hypersexual. You can't control it. Being promiscuous, I'm not listening to them.
Same.
Hypersexual, well, you can't control it, cool. But a lot of people don't talk about that purity also, I think, comes from the same type of like trauma and the same type of like, emphasis on what you do with your body and what your body looks like and how you get validation from people. People who are obsessed with being pure, it's the same shit. You're obsessed with your pussy. You're obsessed with your dick. You're obsessed with how people view your sexuality, and you're obsessed with saving it for someone special and what that means and what that proves. It's very similar to people who like because I had a point where I was hypersexual and it was due to trauma, but I don't.
But you don't agree with him here?
No, I think how someone like sexually, I would consider myself promiscuous. That's because I want to be. I like pleasure. I think it's fun. I think sex is beautiful. I think it doesn't have to stem from.
How do you draw the difference between hypersexuality and promiscuity? Because we had a whole episode 6, about the word promiscuous in totality when we first started the pod.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to know how you differentiate between the two.
For me, it's if I feel like I can't like control it, like it's like an incessant thought or incessant desire, or incessant need.
Which word?
Hypersexual.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's something that is like kind of like a problem. You know what I'm saying? Promiscuous is just like I could go months without having sex. I could be having sex 3 times a week. Promiscuous is my desire and openness and being sensual. I love of being naked. It's cold out and I'm always gonna have my titties or some cleavage out. Like that's who I am. So I feel like
I do think hypersexuality and trauma can go hand in hand, though.
Yeah,
But I don't necessarily think it. For example, like a lot of my friends that have experienced trauma, sexual trauma, are kind of wildly into BDSM. But I realize it's because there's so much consent and control that's brought back. So it's this safe way to experience dismantling your traumas. And I really think when people say it in a bad way, I mean, and let's be honest, like before we all understood what the shit was, right? You're like, whoa, these people are crazy. But it makes sense. Like being bound, being tied, the yes, no, being able to have a safe word There is so much control in that. I actually did some, I don't want to say the R word, but that kind of play. And like, and we had a lot of fun, but like, we made sure that no wasn't the safe word because that might be in the play. You know what I'm saying? And like, literally, I remember there was one point where like he was grabbing my wrist super hard. And I was like, I got really scared, but I was excited that I was scared. And it was just like, damn, like having that safe word is so important because like, yes, the no was part of the whole thing. So I think knowing that I could say my one word, I don't want to say what my safe word is, but just say this one word and it's over. That's a lot of power.
I think sex is healing, which is why I think it can come from trauma. But if hypersexuality can come from trauma, why can't sexuality also heal it?
What if we take out the sex? What if we take out the fact that he's like, as soon as you hop out of, what about a serial dater? Like if he's saying that you need the validation and the attention from someone else, what if even we take the whole vagina, dick and vagina or vagina, whatever. What if we take penetration and sex out of it? He's also saying, which promiscuous could lead to just relationships with multiple people, with a lot of people. Sexual relationships, of course. But when you're dating a lot of people or you jump from one relationship to the next, could that not be seen as someone who is maybe doing that from a trauma response as well because they need the validation of other people? Like when I heard him say that, a part of me actually was like, of course, at first I don't want to really agree with much of what Dr. Umar has to say, right? Because according to him, I shouldn't exist because I'm biracial, right?
I love Dr. Umar.
I would love for him to sit here with it, but I go in with the bias to not really want to listen. But I listened to this a few times and I was like, I found that even in my relationship, a part of feeling abandoned immediately by my ex when we would constantly break up was me going back to what was safe, whether it be 24/7, whether it be other partners that I just had in the tuck in my Rolodex. You know what I mean? But I was like, damn, is this a part of, and I couldn't sense trauma,
I don't know.
but was there trauma with my dad leaving? I mean, to be honest, I listened to this and it got me to think, it was the need in that relationship where I kept being, feeling like I was being abandoned and going under someone else. Did that relate at all to maybe my dad not being around for certain times or things like that? Like, I do think that we want to not believe that our trauma exists in the way we now date or find partnerships or even have sex. But the more that I'm talking to people and the more I am looking into it, I'm questioning deeper things about myself too. And so I listen to this and where y'all are like, yeah, no, I think it leans into this. I found this to be I did actually agree with majority of what he has.
She's right about the purity though, because
that's my
anyone that is like keeping their sexuality for something has been traumatized by something else. It's their family saying, oh my God, no, you're too fast. It's religion. I mean, don't get me wrong. Brianda is probably one of my best friends, but we've never deeply talked about trauma together. But the fact that she was atheist and is literally given God her, sexuality and is celibate now, there's no way you go from fucking and having fun and being a bartender to nothing. Something here in the middle, to me, had to be traumatic to make you feel that God is the answer. And it's not that I'm not saying I don't believe in God or anything, but I think when it's a complete 180, there has to be something in the middle of that. And I'm curious to know, and I could be wrong, right? Because her relationship to God is special and it doesn't necessarily mean that someone fucked her up. But I do wonder, though, the guilt and the shame that people feel around sex and that needing to be pure, what happened along the way?
I had a true love weight ceremony in high school.
A what? True love weight?
True love weights ceremony. Like,
it's like an abstinence ceremony?
What is a true love weight ceremony?
It was literally a church, like youth group, high school, and we all had a little ceremony and we got rings to talk about we'll wait till marriage. And now I'm polyamorous. Yeah.
What happened? So I never heard of that. What happened in the ceremony?
Oh my God. It's like
this is new. Someone listening.
I know. I'm trying to remember.
How old were you?
I was like 16.
Okay.
15, 16. I was with my friends. We dressed up and we were at the church.
What was the attire? What is dressing up?
Like dresses, you know?
Were they white?
No, they weren't. We could choose what we were wearing. Yeah, I know. And we were pledging our faith. Pledging our commitment to wait till marriage in front of God and in front of our family and our parents. And yeah. And then
your parents were there?
Our parents gave us rings for it. Yes.
So was you promising your parents not to be a whore?
Basically, look at me now.
How does this serve?
Oh my god.
And that's why I say it comes from that purity. And so like I agree if you take the sex out of it, right? And I know a lot of the way that I move with sex comes from trauma. I still am working through that. But it's the emphasis
on the sex part and not the fact that purity is the same, has the same content.
Like if we're going to talk about that, let's have the conversation about purity. What purity? What do you think that tells me at 16? Now I suck dick the next year, right? Or I have sex because I want to the following year. Now I feel like I've disappointed my dad, my mom, God.
Now see, there can't be a formula.
Crazy.
You know what? My mom was the one who was handing me condoms and putting me on birth control and telling me to be open and like tell her what I need, tell her if something goes wrong. She never wanted me to end up in a scary situation. She wanted me to be open, right? You did a true love waste ceremony and we sitting next to each other, bitch. So ain't no
hello.
Dr. Umar's wrong.
That's what I'm
saying. There is no formula. You're born being a hoe.
Well, there is a formula to whoredom. We just learned it.
And that's where I feel like the intention aspect, or what I feel like 28 plus.
I think that should then be taught from the beginning.
What?
Like intent. If you're gonna have sex, what is the intent? Are you dating? Like the idea of dating even with intent. Like I don't think that that's really put on because let's be very clear. Not everyone can just become our husbands out the
Hell no. Some of you are just meant
we have to
fuck.
learn ourselves. There has to be intent as to why am I dating this person? It shouldn't be just to become a wife or just to be married.
Mm-hmm.
What is the intent? What do I want out of myself? Just all the things.
And this relationship. I don't, when people are like, oh, you just want this person. I'm saying, yes. Sometimes I have a friend who we like to go to the coffee shop, and sometimes I have a friend that we have great sex together. And that's fine. Why does that matter? Sometimes I have people that I'm more romantic with. That's where I got to the polyamory thing. And it's like, I have these different types of relationships. And when I allow myself to have them, I feel really fulfilled. I don't understand the problem.